Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I'm Casey if you're new, and I just thank you for being here. Any of my current subscribers, any new people that are watching, I'm just really grateful to have you all here, just being a part of this community. It really means a ton to me, and that you want to just spend time out here in nature with me. It's just such a beautiful night. The sun's like peeking through the trees. And if you guys just saw where I am right now, despite the bugginess, it is so buggy right now. I'm probably getting like eaten alive by mosquitoes. I could like feel it. It's like 90 degrees out here, but that's besides the point. I'm just so grateful to be here, grounded, surrounded by trees, guys. Like, if you saw all the trees that I was around, it's like just so peaceful and so blissful. But anyways, that's besides the point. I just want to thank you guys for being here and hopefully encourage some of you today that are thinking about starting a project in life, whatever that is. It could be a new job, a new career, a new relationship, even starting a YouTube channel, whatever that is. I hope that this video can be some encouragement for you, because I don't think that it's random chance that this video showed up on your screen. Like, there's a reason the YouTube algorithm placed this video on your screen. So I just hope to encourage you guys that, it's not too late to start something. If you feel just in life, you feel stuck, or you feel creatively blocked, or you feel like you don't have the resources or the opportunities to do certain things. If there's like a desire or a pull on your heart, guys, that is not by chance. That is not random. See, a literal bunny. You can't really see it, but a bunny just popped out of the trees as I said that, like kind of confirming that. But I think if you have something in your heart that you're really desiring to do, and it's just been on your mind for a long time, oftentimes that's the Holy Spirit just nudging us to continue on that path and see where it leads. It's a nudging from the Holy Spirit, maybe to discover or explore that more. At least for me, guys, I've spent my whole entire 20 plus years of my life trying to figure out what I wanted to do, where I wanted to live, who I wanted to surround myself with, and I always wanted to have it figured out before I actually took action on things. And I think, honestly, for me, that was my biggest mistake, because I would have all these ideas and all these, desires that I wanted to begin doing, and I would just be so creative. Like, the creative juices were flowing. I had so many ideas in my head. But my one biggest sticking point, guys, and I don't know if anyone can relate to this, is I never took that first step. And, that left me with a lot of regrets, just with, people and places and things. But as I'm getting older, I'm starting to realize, you don't need to have it all perfectly figured out before you start something. Like, sometimes God's just calling us to start, and He's going to be that guide. He's going to lead us, because it's not up to us to figure it all out. Like, how are we supposed to have it all figured out? Like, we're not, because we're human. Only God has that ability. God knows, our steps. He has it all planned out for us. And even if we feel like we misstep or we don't know where we're going, God's always going to redirect us. And that's why I kind of feel encouraged to just share my experience with, where I've been going in my life, and how taking that action has actually like propelled me to different places, meeting different people, trying new opportunities, and actually getting out of that rut. Because I don't know if any of you can relate to that feeling of just being stuck, being stagnant or just feeling like you're in a rut, and not really knowing how to get out of it. And sometimes, again, like, there's no one size fits all, but a lot of times the way to get out of things is actually taking a step, even if it's a fearful step, not knowing where it's going to lead, because even if we have fear about it, we can trust and know that God is going to lead the way. And if it's in God's will for you to do that thing, he'll make a way for it. And if it's not, he's going to redirect your path to something even better. Because our plans, even if we think that they're perfect, they're not. Like, I always use this as an example, but back when I was younger, I really enjoyed running, and I thought running was just going to be like, the thing that I did, the thing that I was successful at, the thing that, I wanted to focus my life on. And granted, I put a lot of my identity in that, which is why God kind of humbled me and checked me on that. But that's like a completely different story. What I ultimately learned from that was how he can redirect us to different paths. I never thought that I would become a powerlifter. For those who are new, I'm a competitive powerlifter, and I lift weights for a living, literally. I'm a personal trainer too as well, but when I got into running, I never wanted to pick up a weight because I just didn't really at the time have a passion for it. I didn't want to be too bulky. In hindsight, that was like just all dumb excuses that I used, but there's a mosquito on my phone. Ooh. But now, I never thought that I would be lifting the amount of weights that I'm lifting now, or have like the muscles that I have now, or the strength that I have now. I never in a million years thought that I would be a competitive powerlifter at all. But when I was running, I had a point where I had injured my foot with running, and it really caused me to have to redirect myself and just rethink things. For a long time, I was disappointed and I was mad at God because I felt like he kind of took that dream away from me. But in hindsight, he actually redirected me towards lifting, because I then went to a place where I was like, okay, well, I have to do something. So I started, there's so many mosquitoes. I'm going to have so many bites on me by the end, but thanks for bearing with me. But I just went to the gym one day. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how to lift a weight. I didn't know the first thing about lifting weights or any of the machines at the gym. Guys, I was so terrified the first time I walked into the gym. But now I just saw God's grace and God's glory and how he worked with me with that. Like, I gotta share some videos of when I first lifted and how it looked. It looked like atrocious. And, I realized no one cared. No one was judging me at the gym. I know you might think that people are gonna judge you. And, the people, if they do judge, that's their problem. You don't want those types of people surrounded by you, But for the most part, everyone's doing their own thing. They're not going to judge you for doing what you want to do. And if they do, that's their problem. And a lot of times that's like insecurity that they're just, that they have within themselves, that they're, not following their true passion. But anyway, that's besides the point. What I ultimately wanted to get with was how God redirected me to that. I didn't know that was where I was going to end up, but I took the first step. Like, I could have just planned. I had so many things. I'm like, what am I going to wear to the gym? What am I going to do for programming? Like, I didn't know how to program for myself. What am I going to eat? Like, I didn't know any of that. But you know what I did one day? Just something came over me, the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it, was like, no, today's the day you're going to walk into the gym. You don't know what you're doing. You're scared. You're fearful, but you're just going to walk in. And I walked in, guys, and I literally think I did like 2 sets of bicep curls and walked out because I was terrified. But that was a step. That was something different that I changed. I was living every day the same, but there was a turning point that day where I changed and I did something different. And that switched something in my mind where I was like, wow, it's really not as bad. So more and more I started exposing myself to the gym, and here I am now. God's completely had his hand over that, and I've just grown so much in aspects even beyond the gym. But that's just an example of myself. And I want you to think about an area in your life now where you really have just felt a tugging on your heart to start. And you might feel like you need to be perfect, or you need to have X, Y, and Z figured out before you even begin. But ultimately, it's like you have to take that first step. And I'm getting bitten by a mosquito right now. That's why. But anyway, you can be sitting at the bus stop for however long, and the buses are going to keep continuing to pass, and they're going to stop at the bus stop. But it's like, when are you going to decide to finally step on that bus? Even if you don't know where that bus is going, that bus might stop at other stops, or you might get off and have to take a train somewhere. That's an analogy for God redirecting your path, But I truly believe that if you have something that you have been thinking on, meditating on, whatever it is that you just felt like a deep passion for, a peace about, I think, at least for me, that was the Holy Spirit just really nudging me in that direction. And that's kind of what I felt with on YouTube. And, I guess YouTube's my running testimony for it. But a few years ago, I felt inspired to just start creating content. When I was a kid, I used to make a lot of YouTube videos and never post them for fear of just, that block. I had a blockage, whatever it was. I didn't want to post. And then one day I was like, you know what the heck? I'm just going to post. So if you look back on my channel, I'm not going to delete it. I started posting this 30-day pull-up challenge where I was doing pull-ups every day for 30 days. And I completed the challenge. I actually recorded all the footage, but I stopped posting to YouTube because those same blocks, those same fears started to come back up. And then throughout that time, I went a year. You can check my account without posting. I didn't do any posting. But throughout that entire year, I just felt like, you should post video. And I kept ignoring that voice in the back of my head. Holy Spirit keep telling me to post. And then one day I was like, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have a phone. I mean, I do have a phone. That's the only thing I have. I don't have a camera. I don't have a microphone. I don't have fancy equipment. I don't know how to edit. But I have thoughts in my head. I have, a creative outlet that I want to, just flow out to you guys. And I have people like you here watching right now that are willing to listen to me. And I thought to myself, I said, I'm getting bitten everywhere, really. But anyway, I thought to myself, if there's one person out there that needs to hear what God has to say, then, then I feel like I've done my job. I feel fulfilled, because this isn't me. This isn't my thoughts. This is God, God's using me as a vessel to make these videos. And if I didn't follow that nudge, you wouldn't be listening to this video right now. So I hope this can be some sort of encouragement for someone that's thinking about starting something. Maybe that's even a YouTube channel, because you never know what even one person out there needs to hear. If you have a beautiful singing voice and you're just afraid to express it to the world, you never know how your voice or how your music's going to shape and change other people's lives, even if it's just one person. And, even if you don't feel like that you have a purpose, there's got to be some sort of hobby, some sort of, skill that you bring to the world. Even if it's not a tangible skill. Some people have a gift of just knowledge, and, you're some people have like a natural ability to teach, and they want to share that wisdom onto others. Some people have, you know, a gift of encouragement where, you know, just people, just in your presence, they, you know, the room just brightens up, and, you know, someone just needs a smile. Like, even if you're just walking out on the street and you just smile at someone, like, you never know how that could have changed someone else's day. It's just following those little nudges from the Holy Spirit. Like, it doesn't have to be a major thing. Like, I'm not saying quit your job or, you know, move to another country or, you know, start a YouTube channel, whatever. I mean, if you feel called, you feel inspired to do that, like, by all means, go and see where that leads. You know, that's between you and God, but you never know how making small little shifts in your daily routine and following that nudging of the Holy Spirit, where that can lead you. Yeah, because God will redirect, and you can just rest in that, you know, knowledge that and that peace that God is going to guide you. Sorry, I am getting mosquito bitten everywhere. So yeah, I hope you guys, if you're still watching, I hope you guys can relate or resonate with this message in some way, and just know, especially if you're watching this far, because not many people have an attention span nowadays. So the fact that you're watching this video right now, I don't think it's a coincidence. I think that the Holy Spirit is just really trying to nudge you towards something. I don't know what that is. You have to take that up between you and God. Pray about it, meditate on it, whatever that looks like for you. But I really am excited to see where that nudging will take you. I'd love to hear about it. If there's something in your life that you're kind of just going through, and you just feel stuck, or something that you feel just inspired to do, but you're afraid to take that first step, what are you waiting for? Like, there's no other time to start now. Just get on the bus, get going, get started, because the bus is going to keep moving, you know, but it's a matter of if you're going to move your feet, get on the bus, and then see where the bus leads you. I hope that analogy helped. I don't know, but yeah, thank you for watching this message this far. I think I got probably 1,000 mosquito bites on me right now, because it is so buggy where I'm at right now. It's like 90 degrees out, but it's beautiful where I'm at. And I thank you just for spending some time with me. I hope this message encouraged you or inspired you to start something, and I'd love to hear about it in the comments, what you're going through. And yeah, welcome to anyone that's new, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.